There's an element of humanity and sharing and loving each other that is very strong, a bond, a community bond. So now, please tell me, we've covered a lot about the peaceful times. Please tell me, without dwelling too much into the political aspect this time, let's talk about what happened with this conflict that's taking place right now, and what the origin is, but what is the human effect? What is the effect on the humanity in Congo?
Thank you. I will let Sister Amelie solve that problem, but let me just mention something. The miseries of Congo, unfortunately, people tend to think that it has started only worsely in 1993. No, Eve. Already during colonization, between 1908 and 19, let's say until the independence, we lost 10 million Congolese. There is a documentary and a movie that was shot. It is entitled
White King, Red Rubber,
Black
Death.
Death. White King, Red Rubber, Black Death. We're not going to, drag our feet on, throwing, blame on this and that. But Congo already lost over 10 million US 20 million people at that time. Now again, the war has caused worse than that. Psychologically, in terms of human loss, we've lost. People are talking about 5.4, but we think that now it's over 7 million. The crisis comes especially with an element of economic involvement, whereby the mineral resources that could serve as our blessing are being utilized as a curse to the DRC. And we will have time to talk about it. Maybe you can handle rape and others.
Okay, thank you again, Eve. I think that the problem we have in the Congo is especially economical. Yes, when we see the history of our country, is why people cannot understand, but is it a civilized country or what? Yes, because in the 60s already, our country had almost the same standard in Canada. And then name it. You cannot believe that today our country can be just at the bottom of everything. If you study the history, you will see that Congo was already very high. Really, it was making so much progress. You cannot believe that in the 15th centuries or what, Congo had some kingdoms that had already, at that time, ambassadors in Portugal and,
Vatican.
In Vatican, you had already bishops. But today, we are just at the bottom of everything because of our resources. It's like there is no way that people can do fair business while maximizing the profit, uplift the local people. It's like that people come, they use all sorts of weapons to displace the peaceful people they find there, just to come and occupy the land, and then implement their companies. And yes, Daniel?
Yeah, please, sorry to interrupt you. Can you imagine, we gave you a picture of a normal life in a peaceful situation in the DRC, especially in villages. Now look what the war is doing to the people. I'm going first to give you an example. We went with a group of Americans, again, to a village called Mavuma, where we've got reserves of asphalt sand. From asphalt sand, you extract bitumen that is used
for the tar
roads, to build tar roads. We were welcomed like heroes. Almost the entire village was mobilized for a couple of 5 Americans and and us as local people, we were there. They were chanting. They accompanied us up to the hill, the mountain where there was the bitumen. They were very happy. Now look what is going to happen when a group of gangs decide to invade that place, rape people, and displace them to mine the resources. All that life of going to a borehole or to the spring to get some water is cut off.
Yeah.
The woman can no more have chance to go to the farm and get product. The children can no more go to school because anytime they can get abducted or hijacked, the women will be raped. You know how they did it, in terms of rape. But then you destroy the life of the community. You destroy the community bond that was there, not only for women and girls, but for the entire society
Family.
of that place.
Yeah.
You're causing, you're blocking them from accessing food, you're blocking them from accessing water, you rape them, and you displaced them.
Yeah.
Now they need to go maybe tens of miles to try to start over life,
Yeah.
expecting one day again to be chased and expulsed from the place.
Yeah.
They have killed lives in many villages, especially in the eastern part of Congo, where rebels are operating.
Let me ask you this, because we did cover a lot. We are like really kind of running short on time at this point. To get to the core, rape, okay, because this is where, it's a very sensitive subject, especially for women. Because every woman can, even if she has never been in a situation, hopefully, she can still imagine and feel herself powerless in the situation like that. Now, rape in itself is a horrific violation of a human right, of human dignity, okay? To force sex onto another person is an atrocity that breaks down a person's self-esteem, self-image, spiritual essence, psychological, emotional, physical, you name it. The person gets damaged for life, no matter how much healing they go through, no matter how much therapy, no matter what happens that, give them gold, give them this, give them that. They are broken at the very core because this is an atrocity that is one of the most horrific ones to go through. But now, in Congo, it is used, rape is used as a weapon of mass destruction. Not just weapon of war, but mass destruction. And how I've learned from you and from doing some research how it's used is when rebels, there are several different rebel forces, right, which also, again, we're going to discuss more in detail in the second show. But there are different groups who want to dominate the land that is very rich in resources, correct?
Yes.
And in order to dominate that land, they basically come in 200-300 people in a rebel like militia
Group,
force,
yeah,
in a
militia,
group.
yeah.
They surround the village, right, with guns, and knives. Nobody can escape. And at that point is when all that peaceful life that we've talked about becomes hell. They murder the men who try to escape or who try to defend their family. They take the children and the family, the mothers and the sisters, and in front of each other, they commit the most horrific acts of sexual abuse. They rape them. They force them to have sex with each other.
Yeah.
A family would have sex with each other, otherwise they would get killed. They mutilate them, they cut them up, cut off arms, legs, this, that. They mutilate their genitalias. To go into, the more I think about things like this, is the more, it scares my mind to think what capacity it could go to. And as I said, I have a family I love. I have friends I love. I already love you guys. I cannot imagine that those peaceful, beautiful people are so viciously attacked, so viciously abused. They're gang raped. They're gathered up in front of each other. In the whole village, they would gather up the women in front of each other, and the 300 soldiers that would be there would rape a one woman as many times or for as long as they want.
10 of
They,
them.
she's lucky if she survives it, but then again, I don't know if she's lucky really, because what life you can have after something like that, I really cannot imagine, you know. We have an accident, we have a car accident on the street, we already have like, oh my God, my world is over. You know, car insurance goes up, you know. But to live through something like that is beyond logic, is beyond comprehension, how a person can actually survive and go on and keep feeding the kids and just waking up in the morning and remembering what just happened. You lost your husband, your daughter was raped, your son was raped, you know, another daughter was abducted. All these things that happen, it's used as a weapon to move people, to break them down at the very core, and to move them off their land, because they are living on top of a resourceful land. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now explain to me, please, not sure how much time we got, but we don't have that much time, but explain to me, please, what implications, what are the consequences, you know, during something like that, and then after? Like, what are the ways that these victims are being helped, or how many of them are being helped?
You know, as you said, is horrific, and it's not really easy all the time to talk about it, but because we want people to understand that it's not only talking about it, but coming together, especially women, to really stand and see how we can stop it.
And the men.
Men also, I know that they are also affected in one way or another, because what are the consequences when a woman is raped? Really, she's destroyed, because as we said, these are gang rapes. One woman will be raped by, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 men, especially the one they will just abduct and bring to the, just to enslave them, and they are there for that. And they do everything with brutality. They destroy them. It's just to bring terror, to bring frustration to those beautiful creatures of God. Now, those poor women are really lost, because they've lost their human dignity. Their husbands are even more than worse, because, you know, we don't have so many divorces, especially in the villages where all these things are happening. No, you find people are faithful to their wives forever.
For life. Wow, that's beautiful.
Now, that husband who sees his wife raped, because they can be the poorest, but for that man, his wife is the best of the world.
The queen.
Is the queen for him. Now he sees this queen raped like that. He feels that it's difficult for him maybe to touch her again. The lady herself doesn't want to continue, you know, sexual life with his husband. Most of the time, some of those women fall pregnant. And when they fall pregnant, they give birth to a child that is not accepted by the society. Now, they are marginalized, those poor women. And in the villages, we don't have so many centers dealing with that. There is one hospital known, Panzi Hospital in the South Kivu. They help a lot. They help thousands of women. But what do you think that they can do most? Almost 50% of the people, of the cases that are reported, are helped. But even when they finish their treatment in the hospital, they have given a very small financial aid that will cover maybe less than a week. For the basic food. It's not really too much that is being done. And some of them are not even helped.
I'm assuming that a lot of it is not reported, and even those that are reported, they hardly get any help
No, there's no
after
help.
living through a horrible experience like that. And that experience may repeat again and
Yeah.
again.
It's
Yes.
repeating because
is
that's why
repeating.
they raped in October.